What's going on, guys, and welcome to February's episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game at random every month, and at the end of the month we talk about it. My name's Seth, and joining me today is Chevy. Chevy, we've just started going to the gym again in like the last week or so. I'm sore as fuck. How you feeling?
I feel okay now, but after sleeping, I'm sure I'll feel.
It's always when I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to move. I'm dead now. But yeah, outside of that, outside of the physicality, the soreness, how you doing? Just tired, sore?
Tired, sore. Haven't really felt like I had a lot of free time lately.
Bro, I feel that.
But we kind of peaked at the next couple months, and it looks like we might be freed up a little bit to catch up on some games, so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
I'm off at some point this week, and I'm deciding if I want to just be a vegetable for a week outside of going to the gym, or if I want to try to plan something, but we'll see.
Do all of it. Just stay home for a couple of days, go do some shit,
I might.
keep going to the gym, and it'll be good vacation. I already want another vacation. I had one not that long ago, and I'm already ready for another one. Yeah, I'm doing good though, and I'm ready to talk about Forza Horizon 5, which was our game of the month, randomly picked in February.
Yarr.
And with that, we got to pick a brand new game of the month for, what are we in, March now?
Yep.
So let's do that right now. We got some new subscribers. I kind of put out a message on TikTok that, if TikTok were to get banned or whatever, go follow me over on YouTube. And we got a bunch of people over here from there. So if you guys came here from TikTok, what's up? Welcome. And this is Game of the Month, where we play games at random every month, and this is how we do it. We got a wheel. We got a bunch of back burner games on that wheel. We add and get rid of games as we go. Sometimes things feel irrelevant after a while. We haven't pulled it for a while. We get rid of it. Sometimes we add games, like we just added recently Wild Hearts and Evil Dead the game, because that's something I would like to play again at some point. If that does get pulled, we will not play it this month because we just played it. But it's going to be on the wheel. And we're going to spin the wheel. We're going to find out what our game of the month in March is. It'll be a lot of fun. For anybody maybe listening, you want to know what's even going on with that wheel. We got a bunch of games on here, and those games are, as of right now, Halo Infinite, Temtem, Elder Scrolls Online, Dead Cells, World War Z, Monster Hunter Rise, Strange Brigade, Outriders, Evil Dead, Back 4 Blood, Multiverses, the game that apparently has like 4% of the population it used to have, so hopefully that game's not dead by the time we play it. No Man's Sky, Second Extinction, Near Replicant, Final Fantasy XIV, Age of Empires 4, and Wild Hearts. And like I said, we'll add and subtract as we go. And of course, we always take recommendations, but no guarantee you'll make the list because this is our back burners.
Yeah.
So yeah. But with that, let's spin the wheel and let's find out what our game will be in March. I'm really excited because we have one less game we have to play this month, as opposed to last month. We had 4 games plus a game of the month. So
And a couple extra days to do it.
yeah. Fun thing too, we just took off a game, Code Vein. We had Code Vein on the wheel. We played it
Months ago.
So we just didn't take it off. Is that what happened? Why did we play it before? Was that game of the month?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But anyway, it's going to be on PlayStation Plus. So I was like, we got to get rid of that. So I don't want to keep playing Code Vein over and over again. So that got taken off. And then we also took off Moonlighter.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because that game is fun. But I feel like it's just too far back now at this point, a little irrelevant. So, all right, let's spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1, and go. It is spinning, and we're going to find out what we're playing in March. Hopefully it's something fun. These are all fun. Almost Evil Dead.
This is hilarious.
Oh, man. Hey, we might play before it dies. All right, so our game of the month is Multiverses. If you guys don't know what Multiverses is, it is a Smash Bros-like platform brawler that is in the... I don't know what universe that would be, like Looney Tunes, a bunch of different WB properties. That's the best way to put it. And I'll be curious to see what they've added to the game since I last played, because when I originally played it, I thought it was great. It just needed maybe some more modes, stuff like that. It does have bots, so that's at least a benefit to us. And I I have a bunch of character tokens, so I'll be able to, get whatever I need this time around. Chevy, how you feeling about multiverses?
I'm gonna play it and form an opinion at that time, but I am not a Smash Brothers fan in the slightest. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, that'll be an interesting discussion to have going into that review because this is not a genre you're into, and I'm not really into it that much either. But I did like it. We'll see where it's at though. That's where my review will be. We'll see where the game's at this point. So, Multiverses will be our game of the month in March. We invite you guys to play as well and join our conversation at the end of March. All right, so we played a game. And that game was Forza Horizon 5. If you didn't get a chance to play Forza Horizon 5, you should. It is a arcade racer. It's the fifth in the Horizon series. And essentially, it's a sandbox racing game. You can do really whatever you want. It's an open world. You drive around with your cars. You get experience for literally everything. So it takes a note from Call of Duty in that sense of just constantly giving you XP and you're always getting rewards. You do races. You can race people online or bots. You can form convoys with your friends. You can play co-op races or versus races with your friends. Very appreciated. And you do races, different activities. There are world events that happen similar to an MMO where people who are just driving around can all join up and do stuff. And as you play, you level up. You get wheels like we just spun to spin, and you get random rewards like money, cosmetic items, cars, of course. And then you accrue credits and you can buy brand new cars. You also win cars by doing events. The game just has content that it just spills at you nonstop. It's like, hey, do you like stuff? We got so much stuff to give you. Here's all the stuff, and we got more after that. We both played it. And what'd you think of Forza Horizon 5 in February?
All right. So fun little tidbit about this. When it got pulled, I went to install it and I did not have enough room on my computer.
It's a big game.
I had to go buy another SSD to install it. That being said, I like this game. I'm not a huge fan of racing games, but this game just kind of has
It's weird.
a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I guess the best way to explain it is like it because of the constant, small little rewards here and there, and like just the ease of play. It's really easy for me to just kind of like sit down, drive around, and then occasionally decide to take on a task, or sometimes I just kind of wander around and just drive sometimes. It's a very good looking game. I don't remember having what is that? Ray tracing and stuff like that before, but when I installed it, I turned it all the way up and it is very nice looking. Though the sun bouncing off the water on the road is impressive but blinding. And sometimes we'll hide the suggested route markers on the ground too, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the little race line thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes sand would obscure it too.
Yeah.
I'd be like driving fast. I'm like, I can't see where the fuck the thing's at. Like, luckily I can see the track and I know where I'm going. But like, if you're racing a track you've never been on, it's helpful when it's like, oh, you're going to be taking a right here soon. So,
yeah. There are a lot of different types of cars in the game, which is appreciated. They've added a ton, since the last time we played. Don't have the DLCs. I was tempted, but I financially decided that I probably won't play the game that much, and I probably should just save my money on that. And not because I dislike the game, but I mean, I got other things I want to play right now. So I think I'm going to leave it installed though, because I do enjoy playing it, and it's just really easy to play. The racing is also neat because the amount of biomes they put in these games is just impressive. You get to kind of, in one race, we went around the entire map, and we got to just kind of experience every biome, almost that it had to offer. And it's kind of crazy when you're driving. Like in my case, I have a Toyota Supra. I don't remember what year it is, but it's kind of like my go-to car. And on the road, it's great. On dry pavement, but sand, dirt, water, all that stuff, I slide everywhere. So, and it's just kind of cool to be able to go through that. And I know a lot of this isn't new to racing games, but that I can actually access all that stuff with like no loading screens and in the same race and stuff like that is just kind of wild. Has a lot of social features, which I really appreciate, like making your own races on their maps and stuff like that. You can set your own parameters on that.
Yeah, this, not to interrupt, but this game's got so many features and so many like, there's like one thing I think it holds the game back a little bit, and that's the Xbox Live experience. But
yeah, I was gonna get there for sure.
But the game itself has all these features that, like, when I've played other racing games in recent time that have online features, I'm just the whole time like I'm fucking spoiled by Forza Horizon 5. Like they really thought about like a lot of shit with that game in terms of like how you want to interact with other people in a racing game, whether it's co-op, whether it's versus, whether, you know, you want to communicate where you're driving to, it shows them. Like there's fucking other games that are multiplayer, not even just racing games, that don't even do that still. And it's like great social features, the whole convoy system, being able to find random people to play with. It's easy to get into a race with random people or bots. The game really can be whatever you want it to be.
Well, it's also cool too with the, and this is just a Forza staple in general, but the drivatars, which you'll just take random, you know, people. If you have people on your friends list who play it, they'll be there. If not, I'll just grab random people who play the game, and you just get them driving around all over the place. So even if you're playing offline, or not offline, but not with people publicly, it still looks like there's people driving and racing around and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. You mentioned the co-op. I think that's great. And it's based off a score system, so there's no like heavy pressure to get first place. So if you get first place, even one of you, it's pretty much guaranteed win for your team. But it's nice.
Well, if there's two of you, but I think it starts if you have three people on the team or whatever. It starts,
or if you have multiple teams.
Yeah. It starts accruing less points per person because it starts spreading it out among like 3 or 4 people or whatever. But
yeah. And it's just it's a neat system because it does make it feel like a co-op racing experience instead of just, we're on the same team, but like, you know, someone has to get first still, you know, type of deal. I think the point system is a lot better. For sure. Because,
if you were against like a real other team of people and you're playing like super competitive, the individuals, whether they are in first or third or fifth or, you know, sixth place, that's all going to accrue, and you're going to have something a little more definitive on who won than just like, you know, who got first.
Yeah.
So,
and custom paint jobs and stuff like that, I really appreciate. I have a custom paint job on my Toyota, and it's just kind of neat that I was able to find someone who, you know, took the time to do that. And it's by car, or you can even look by creator or whatever. I think you can also do that from your phone as well to upload stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's a lot of options there for people who like to create stuff as well.
Yeah, there's really great community features in this game because like you can obviously sit there and design cars, you can upload those, you can download those. It doesn't like cost anything. They're just there if you want it. But the thing I really like is anytime you buy a brand new car, it instantly, when you're buying it, will send you over to the default paint job you just picked, or, you know, the most popular paint jobs for that car. And so you can kind of just shop around through there real quick. You could look deeper if you wanted to, but you can just kind of look over and be like, oh, I kind of like what this guy did. Just download it instantly. It's real quick. And now you're driving around with that paint job. And it's a really cool system to, you know, kind of circulate people's designs without someone having to go search and find it. I really like that. And then also custom tracks. People can make their own races. I haven't done that a whole lot, but I've done a little bit in the past, and it's pretty simple. And then you can play other people's races that they put on the map. Whenever you initiate a race, it'll show the official races and then races people have made. So the game's really good about community. It's trying to get everybody to be sharing and interacting in non-invasive ways. It's not like, you know, a game forcing you into PvP or something like that. Like, you know, it just has all these like subtle, like you can interact with all these people's things, and makes it really simple and easy and streamlined.
Yeah, for sure. And something else I like about like the gamified version of it is if you're not like necessarily in the mood to race, and if you are just kind of like wandering around the world, there's like billboards that you can smash into. They're like collectibles.
Even finding locations you get XP for.
Yeah, and then like you can either get money or like fast travel points by getting those as well. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of worth it. I don't really spend a lot of money in the game. I'm sure I probably would if I was like doing a bunch of cars. But
I almost never buy anything in that game. I was looking at my money. I had like 5 million. I was like, should buy a car. Yeah. I mean, I have all these credits. I'm not doing anything with them.
Yeah, for sure. What else? There was something else I was going to bring up.
One thing I thought was neat is we did the variety of missions. So like there's just races, all sorts of races. There's drift races, there's drag races, there's normal races, there's street races, there's Baja off-road races, there's activities. One we did a long time ago, not this month, was like there's a time limit and there's all these jumps. So you had to go through these hoops, and we're like driving a circuit trying to get into hoops and accrue the score.
Yeah, those are the festivals.
Yeah.
Those are really neat.
Yeah, and then and there's like these random events that happen. You're like, oh shit, let's go do that. And it's very much like an MMO. But then we did a mission last night when we played that was kind of neat because the game's set in Mexico. They had this like the history of Mexican cars mission that because I know nothing about Mexican cars. I mean,
same.
To me, I didn't know there was. I mean, of course, there's cars that came from Mexico, but like I don't know any of them.
Right.
So like the first mission, you get a score of up to 3 stars for how well you did it. But more so, it's just an excuse for you to drive a car that's from Mexico, and the dude sitting in the car with you is giving you the history of that car, the company, what the car was built for. And I appreciated that because like it was fun to be racing. It was actually interesting info. I was listening to him like, oh, that's actually interesting. I had no idea about this.
Right.
Kind of reminded me of like Gran Turismo 7 has this mode where it like just tells you the history of everything, cars. But and then there was a score, and then we got XP and credits, stuff like that for it, and like we were able to do it cooperatively. So we're both just doing this like not story mission, but like, you know, there was like a narrative happening. And it's kind of refreshing. At first I'm like, oh god, are we going to waste time doing this? But then we start doing it, I'm like, no, this is just a mission.
Yeah,
it's kind of neat. So there's a lot of different things to do in the game.
Oh, I remember the other thing I was going to say now, the barn finds.
Yep.
I think that's a neat feature. They kind of put a little circle on the map, and there's a garage somewhere in that circle. And if you find it, you find an old beat up rusted car, and they give you a little history rundown on it real quick, and then they repair it for you.
I am amazed how fucking in plain sight they can hide those barns.
Oh, yeah.
I'll drive all over that fucking circle, and I'm like, it's a barn. Yeah. I'm in a field right now. Where's the barn? And then eventually, like, I drive over a small little hill, and there's just one tree and a little building. I'm like, is that it? And I drive up, and there's the barn. I'm like, how? How'd you hide that there?
Yeah, for sure.
So they did a really good job on just, like, placing a barn in a circle somewhere, and it was like, they're never going to find this.
Yeah.
But it's neat. And again, like, the variety of activities to do in the game breaks up the monotony of just like doing race after race after race after race. And even like you said earlier, just driving around the world's fun because you see other people fucking flying around racing. You're getting XP for just drifting and stuff like that, which leads to, like, you know, being able to spin the wheel to get more stuff. So like obviously it's a better opportunity to get rewards for actually doing races because you get a bigger chunk.
You level more. Yeah.
You know, you're still getting the XP from doing, you know, maneuvers, stuff like that, but you get the reward for finishing the mission. But that you just get stuff for actively playing the game is like a really good formula.
Yeah.
And one I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to replicate. Like sometimes I'll play a game and I'm like, no one's going to be able to compete with this for a while. Like the scale is just too high. Like there's Grand Theft Auto and then there's every other open world crime game, and nobody's got the scope and scale of a Grand Theft Auto. And then I look at like, you know, Naughty Dog and what they do with like cinematic games. Some people are coming close now, but like for a while there, I'm like, no one can make a Naughty Dog game. And now I'm playing this, I'm like, who's got to make an arcade racer like this?
Yeah.
People have tried. The Crew 2 was not good.
So I've heard.
Need for Speed. What's the new one?
Yeah, the one we played. I can't remember.
The newest one. I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. But it's a lot of fun. But I went online and it's like 5% of what Forza Horizon 5 is, but it's trying to be Forza Horizon 5. I'm like, just copy them then. Like, just like, this is not Not even close. So yeah, it's a game that just has so much stuff it offers that I'm just like, I don't know how somebody could compete with this.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, I got negatives now.
Cool. Let's do it.
From the PC perspective,
Yeah, we play on PC.
having to make sure you have the multiple Xbox apps and program or files installed to play multiplayer, I think is incredibly frustrating. And it seems like to create or join a convoy or party, if you will, is entirely random where and how it works. It works sometimes in game and then it didn't. It works sometimes in the app and then it didn't. And it was very frustratingly inconsistent. And I hate having to run, like, you're running Steam, you're running Xbox, and now I'm running the game, and they all have to work together. And this, in most cases, I'm sure for most people is working just fine, but it's still just like, it seems like so many hoops just to play a game.
Yeah, and I get why they're doing it, because since the 360, Xbox wants you on Xbox Live infrastructure so that, all their servers are there, all your friends lists are there across the board. They can do cross-play easily through that. So I get the motivation, but like in a world where like most games just have all this stuff in game, just baked in there already, inviting people over to your party, all that stuff. It does seem like a hassle, but then when we ran into issues, it's real easy just to blame their choice in design.
Yeah.
It's something they chose to do, and I get why, but I think it's a little archaic at this point. It's a little too old school to have all these different things working together to give you the same options that like most modern games don't need that for. And yeah, we ran into a couple of weird issues when it came to invites and stuff like that. And it's not the first time this has happened, and it's definitely not the first time this has happened with me on PC using Xbox Live. It's not the best system. Not the worst. It's not Ubisoft's whole fucking thing, but it creates hassle sometimes, and it's annoying. It's frustrating because in a game like this, I have a lot of fun playing this game, and when you run into a hiccup where things aren't working correctly, it kind of ruins that momentum of like, oh yeah, this game's fucking awesome, and then you're like, oh god, this isn't working. So
it's kind of wild too, because I guarantee if you bought it through the Microsoft Store, you wouldn't have to worry about it because it's purely running through their ecosystem then. But their Steam version of it, because it still relies on those Xbox apps to be running. And I have, at least in my PC settings, I have a lot of stuff like either uninstalled or shut off so that it's not running in the background. And that was one of those things, and I had to go through and I had to open that app manually because the game wouldn't do it automatically because my settings are that way. So, I mean, I'm not blaming them necessarily for that, but the fact they even had to do it is just like super frustrating, especially because I like the game and I want to play it. And I feel like you're making it harder for me to play it now. Just kind of a weird spot to be in. And then, I think that was pretty much the only issue I had with the game. I didn't really experience any other bugs or anything. The game runs super smooth. There's some networking stuff here and there, but that's not the game's fault.
Yeah.
And then
the game runs great for how good it looks. I mean, we both have PCs that should be able to run it, but like it is impressive how well it runs.
Yeah, it's zero hiccups.
Yeah.
So
especially because you're racing online. Every once in a while I see your car. It was moving where I could predict where you're going. It wasn't like you're teleporting all over the place.
Yeah.
But I'd see your car like kind of
and that's what I mean.
bit.
That's we both play via Wi-Fi, so that kind of stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyways, I kind of rambled there for a while, but it's a big game, so.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have that much to say on it outside of gushing about it. I really like this game, and I'm going to be so bold as to say that I think this is the best modern arcade racing game that exists as of right now. It's really good. Of course, there are good arcade racers out there, a bunch of them, and there's classic ones that I wish they would bring back, like Burnout 3 or something like that, because those were great arcade racing games. And there's been great Need for Speeds, and even the new one is a lot of fun, but none of them even touch this game, man. Like, this game is so thoughtful and well designed, and I'm not even like a Forza motorsport guy. Like, I always have been like not really into those games. I love Gran Turismo. I'm that kind of fanboy. But like, when people want to start playing up like, oh, what's better, blah, 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 I'm like, look, dude, I think Forza Horizon series is like the best arcade racers out there. So like, I'm open-minded. I can see the quality. The game is gorgeous. There's a great variety of vehicles. It has the perfect balance of realistic physics and arcadiness, where you get to just enjoy driving really fast, but it doesn't feel too simple. There is, drifting, that you're actually controlling the car. There's weight to the vehicles. The map is huge. It's gorgeous. It has a lot of biomes, like you said. It's amazing every time they release one of these games. They're different locations, but they're able to squeeze so many different types of locations in just one area, and then the next game comes out and they're able to get whole new locations out of it, and there's so many of them. It's crazy, and it benefits the freeform nature of the racing, because a lot of these races go in between different biomes, or like you can have straight up just city street races that doesn't feel like you're out like in the middle of the mountains or whatever. And then there's races that will just be out in the desert, or races out in the jungle, or races that mix the two, and then met with like the weather system that affects the way your traction works. It's a great system to give you a lot of variety. I never am bored of the races because there's just so many to do. All the events are really cool. I think the progression in the game's interesting, how you just got to race, and eventually get a token, and you get to pick one of the main events to complete the races in, and then you just complete the Forza Horizon event that way. It's a very minimal, very low-key story progression of just like, hey, you're here for the festival, let's get you through it, blah blah blah, and you're just having fun. There's no like weird Fast and the Furious story. There's no dorky people. The game actually knows my name, which is weird, because like most games don't say my name, but this game's like, hey Seth, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. So I kind of like that. It's minimal. It's just like stories. You're at a festival, it's a car festival, everyone's racing. That's fun. And it feels more personal because like it's got this huge roster of names you can pick from, which is weird but cool. So car variety is awesome. Upgrades are cool. The cars have perks as you race them, which I think is cool. You can unlock and get more out of those cars. So if there's a car you really like and you already got it like all maxed out or whatever, you can start getting more credits as you race it, get more XP from drifting, stuff like that. So there's progression, which of course I'm a big fan of. The variety in missions, like I said before, the history of Mexican cars was really neat. Just a lot of little things to be finding in this game that I'm always still just like, wow, that's really cool. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's really cool. Like, I'm never bored playing this game. Even driving around is a lot of fun, just because the map is a blast to just haul ass down. And this game emphasizes speed to the point where when you're driving like an S-Class car, it's terrifying. Yeah. Because even though you got the control of an S-Class car and you can stop on a dime, you're going so fast that just one little wrong move and you'll just go flying off that track. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. I'm not a big collectibles guy, but I love just driving around. I'll see a billboard on my way by and I just hit it and I get some credits, or I get a fast travel thing, or I'm just driving around and it's like, oh, this is one of 56 locations in this area. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I haven't been here.
And the stat comparisons at the bottom too.
Yeah.
While you're playing. So
yeah, it's got that. It's also got a bunch of random stats it'll give you. Like, it told me it's like you have almost 7 hours in first place in this game. I'm like, that's an interesting stat. I've never thought about that before. Like just a combined amount of time of being in first place. So that's really neat. There's just like a lot of fun statistics in this game. The co-op racing is awesome. I love that they have that, because most people I play games with don't like competitive stuff. And as I've gotten older, I don't really like playing competitive against my friends anyway. So I'm always down for more co-op stuff. But I love that you have the option. It's a really, really cool system that I think really every arcade racer should have. I love the choices that you have in this game. Now, every game needs to be a sandbox racer, but just the choices on how you want to interact with the multiplayer in the game, I think is really cool because it just invites more people. I feel like more people like you who maybe aren't super into racing games or vehicles in games, you don't even like to touch them in most games. I think it invites more types of people who can just have fun because it has like a more of an MMO feel almost, except for it's also like a super solid racing game. So it's really cool. I already went over the community features, but I think they're really well implemented. I think they're, what you can do with painting is good. They've always emphasized customization in the Forza games, but nothing revolutionary. But I think just the subtlety of introducing people's creations to you so naturally and so seamlessly, like you don't have to fuck with it if you don't want to see other people's stuff. You just buy your car, pick your color, leave. But if you want to see what people made, maybe find something you like, maybe you can appreciate what people have been making. It's awesome. It's a great system. The music is not annoying, which I appreciate. True. A lot of racing games, I think like I'll hear the music, I'm like, ooh, this is not for me.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's like, cock rock or, some like trap beat stuff. I'm just like, this is all so generic sounding to me. But this just has like fun, energetic music that goes perfectly with the atmosphere. They did such a good job on the atmosphere in this game to not be annoying, which is just like so rare in racing games. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's so rare. I don't know what else to really say on this game. It's the networking seems fine. Like we already went over that a little bit, but like, I'm not seeing a whole lot of like teleporting around. So they got a good like infrastructure when it comes to servers, regardless of everybody's own personal connection types. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I think the cars drive great. They're a lot of fun. Huge variety in cars. The big spectacle events that happen where you see, crazy stuff happening while you're driving is always a lot of fun. And when Forza Horizon 6 comes out, I will buy it day one because, like I said, it's not even hard for me to say that. I think it's legit the best arcade racing game that's out right now. Not of all of history, although I think there's a case to be made there. But as of right now, I don't think there's a game that comes close to it, which is fucking wild. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Who should play it?
Anyone who likes boxes with wheels that move forward. So if you like racing games, I think you should play this game no matter what. Whether you're into sim racers, even though I know it's not going to be quite for you, I think you'll still be able to appreciate it. But if you're into any other kind of racing game, whether it be kart racers, whether it be arcade racers, if you're a racing fan at all, you like driving vehicles and games, it's a must play, in my opinion. I think even if you're not into racing games, but maybe you like RPGs, this game feels like you're playing an open world RPG except for you're racing. I mean, it's got like constant XP happening, progression and leveling up. It's really interesting. Also, if you like MMOs, they took a lot of nods from MMOs. So if the idea of a racing MMO sounds interesting to you, I think you should 100% check it out. If you like cooperative games or versus games, if you like playing online with people or against people, and you're okay with racing, definitely play it. If you like collectibles and exploration, whether that be in racing games or like in, like you're playing an RPG and you're trying to find all the things here on the mountainside or out in the woods or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, I found this thing, I'm trying to collect them all. Play this game. If you like cars and photography, it's got a photography mode. I don't really use it a whole lot, but but you can take pictures of your cars. Yeah.
The only thing I could really add, and you already said co-op, but to expand upon that, if you enjoy games where you can just be like in voice chat with your friends and not have to really like
just bullshit.
Yeah, you just want to like hang out and play a game. I think this game's kind of like perfect for that because you can play it at any pace you want. Mm-hmm. And if you just want to drive around and chit chat, while keeping yourself busy, it's a good game for that. So
yeah, I mean, you could be like just doing a paint job thing with your car for like a couple hours while your friends are like racing around or doing whatever. And
because you don't have to join the race. Like once the leader picks the race, you have to say you also want to do it or not.
Yeah,
So.
at the very least, you don't have to join their convoy, but you can still sit there and chit chat with them while playing the game. Like it's definitely a communal social game.
Yeah.
Even they have like weird little like not emotes, but like if you press I think right or down on the D-pad, you can like send messages. So maybe you don't want to talk to people when you play, but you want to play with people. I think that's a nice touch too. It's another inviting feature. And also, one thing I didn't mention during the review that I think is really smart, it has a like GPS system that will just figure things out for you. So maybe you're not into games that like lack structure, even though this game is pretty straightforward in how to go do missions or races, but maybe you don't want to think about it.
Or you're overwhelmed by choice.
Or you're overwhelmed because there's too much shit going on.
Yeah.
It has I forgot what it's called, but it's
they gave it a name like you would like, you know, like a Siri or
you want to say
Alexa
like
or
Annie
something
or
like
something.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah, you can just be like, oh, find me a barn find me a race, find me blah 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 blah, and it'll just instantly find something close by to go do. So really good system. So if this will wrap back in recommendations, if the idea of a big open world with too much shit to do sounds like something you're not going to be too into, it has that system. So don't let that discourage you from checking this game out, in my opinion. Yeah. Any other recommendations?
I mean, no, I just to kind of to back up your if you're not really in driving games thing, I'm kind of the epitome of that. I like you said, like even games where like you have a horse or a car to get around, I only do it if I have to. I'm the kind of guy who I'll literally walk my ass to every location. So
or skip driving segments in Mafia.
Yeah,
Definitive Edition.
It's just not my thing, and I enjoy playing this game. So take that how you will.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely an endorsement. So. Should we grade it?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to give it an easy, solid, heavy A. I want to go A+, but we ran into some issues with Xbox Live, which were annoying. And I ran into an audio issue that I was able to fix. I think it started as one thing, and I think it ended as a different issue. But once I got it fixed, I have no complaints. But that it happened was really, really discouraging and annoying. But not enough to dock it too much. I think it's a solid A easily. It could be an A+. But yeah, it's hard for me to give it that top tier grade because when we're having issues, it was so fucking frustrating. Yeah. But other than that, like it's such a solid racing game. It's definitely my favorite modern arcade racing game. I think so many people could play this game and enjoy it. Like really anybody, if your friends were on, you hopped on and you start play with them, you're gonna have a blast. It's a great game. So yeah, easy, solid A.
I'm gonna give it an A-, and it would be higher. I would give it an A, but I do think the multiple applications to play a game thing is a little ridiculous, and I don't.
Which
like
sucks
that at all.
too, because it's not even the game that's deciding that. It's just any game that's going to be through Xbox Live is going to use that system. So that's something that Microsoft has decided.
And,
Xbox has decided.
Well, and if you're approaching this from the perspective of having it, owning it in the Microsoft Store, whether that be on PC or on an Xbox, I would say it's an A game, but I don't have that experience. So A- for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to give it an A+ because, like I said, I think it's really above and beyond all arcade racer games right now. But you know, when there is problems, they're frustrating problems, and that sucks because it ruins kind of that momentum of just having a blast in this game, which this game does very well. So that is definitely just an issue with the Xbox Live infrastructure that you have to use to play this game. So other than that, fantastic game. Yeah. So A-, A, we both like it. So yeah, anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think of Forza Horizon 5. Have you played it? Have you not played it? If you haven't played it, why haven't you played it? If you played it, did you like it? Do you agree with me on it being the best arcade racer in modern times? You don't have to say of all time because I know it's a heavy thing to say. But if you don't agree with me, not looking for a debate, but what would you say is the best arcade racer now? Which one? Because I'll take a recommendation. Like what's the good ones out there? Because I'd like to play more good arcade racers. What cars do you typically drive in these kind of games? What's your favorite thing to do in Forza Horizon 5? Do you play with friends? When you do you play co-op or versus? And what do you think of the events and all the stuff? Let us know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to Forza Horizon 5. And that's going to do it for this episode of Game of the Month. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on our socials and streams. Link down below. Check out our Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us in audio form. And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. If you're brand new, also check out my TikTok. It's linked down below if you want to watch my shorts. And again, welcome everybody from TikTok who came over here to stay connected with me. Appreciate it, and hopefully you enjoy the content. I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Thanks for joining me, Chevy. And thank you guys for joining us for this episode. Until the next episode, which will likely be a tasty cast, or we got to do game releases. We're doing that as an individual episode now, so that'll be out soon. Have a good one, guys, and take it easy.